I almost died twice. I'm going to take y'all for a ride on the side-by-side today, and I'm going to explain what happened and the dangers that farm life can sometimes hold. But I think sometimes it's just me. I live a dangerous life. But first of all, I've got to fuel up the side-by-side, and then we're going to go for a ride. You will have to excuse me, and I know that I'm going to sound funny when I'm talking today, but I have an appliance in my mouth that's much like Invisalign braces, because you know, when I went to the beach for my grandson's 16th birthday, I broke a tooth, and after the flesh healed, then I'm to wear this appliance, and it actually has the tooth in it to be there so that, you know, the hole is not visible until I can get the implant done in a few months, because they had to put some bone up in there. So I've went through several things all in a matter of a couple of weeks. Other than sounding like I've got a mouthful, it's no big deal. If you can understand what I'm saying, then it's no big deal. But let's get the side-by-side fueled up, and then I want to go show you what happened to me this week, a couple of days ago. And then I'm going to bring you back to the pasture, and then I'm going to show you what happened to me today. Y'all, I have so many bruises right now. I am a very lucky woman today. Let's just put it that way. I survived.
Motion.
These days, the night shift cutie at the truck stop knows my name. Threw the candle in the midnight oil and lit up the honky-tonk highway. I see the sun come up, cause I ain't been to bed. Gonna have my name cut into a stone when I lay my head. No rest for the wicked, at least for a few hundred miles. I'm running wild, ride the lightning, run on empty in the ring of fire. Rolling like the Mississippi, oh mama tried. But I got bad down to my bones, don't know where I'm gonna go, oh sweet time. I'm running wild, I'm running wild. Always been a runner, never been one for settling down. Spent my life in the backwoods looking for ways out of a one-horse town. I found a six-string ticket and jumped that westbound train. I only slowed down long enough to stand up on that stage. Cloud nine is a cloud of dust for the next 1,000 miles. I'm running wild, ride the lightning, run on empty in the ring of fire. Rolling like the Mississippi, oh mama tried. But I got bad down to my bones, don't know where I'm gonna go, oh sweet child. I'm running wild, yeah, I'm running wild. Mama, I'm running wild, yeah, I'm running wild. I'm running with the devil, rolling down the road, riding on the storm, living like I'm dying slow. Headlights in the fast lane is my home away from home. If there's light after this tunnel, I'm gonna be the first to know. No slowing down, no looking back, no staying for a while. I'm pedaled down and right on track.
Well, there it is, the old hunting house on the property. And I have spent many hours in there watching deer, because they'll come out in this field and graze. And it's one of those guilty pleasures of mine to come out and watch them. Let me tell you what happened. So I came here to watch deer, and it was early in the morning, and I've not been out here in quite a long while. It's been, I would say about a year and a half. And I've always been very careful about checking stuff to make sure that nothing is rotten and nothing's going to hurt me. But this time I failed me miserably. Let me show you why. That ladder was attached to there. So honestly, there's a couple of things that saved my life. First, you can see that's pretty far up there. And this board is also rotten. That's just rotten wood right there. Now, the rest of the house is really in decent shape. It's great. We've always used it as a kid's playhouse and, you know, among other things. But that board right there was the board next to the top step. There's the top step right there. So I made it to this board. I climbed up and I was going slow and putting my weight very slow because I knew there was a chance that it was not in good repair. So that probably saved me also. So the step I was at was right here. And I can reach that, so that's about 8 foot. It's right at 8 foot, I believe. And what got me was that the door was open, and you can see there's a latch right there that has to be unlatched for the door to be open, and nobody had been over here. So I had climbed up to that point right there, and I was standing with my feet there, and I'm looking inside to make sure that there's not a rabid critter that is up in there, because I didn't want something to jump out on me. And it was very early in the morning. It was barely cracking daylight. And so I'm standing there on that step right there for like a whole minute. And then all of a sudden, that step just crashed. It just totally gave way. And you can see how it fell straight down. That means I fell straight down. Now, my right leg caught on that. My boot, which probably saved my life, caught on the nail. And here's the boot. There's my boot. It's literally cut. Now, yeah, I'm still wearing them. Now, I fell straight down, but at this point, I flip backwards. So now I'm upside down. And it was kind of like falling in slow motion, but I'm falling from my feet being 8 feet up. Now I'm upside down, and I land on the ground on my head and neck. But I kind of tucked and rolled. And I laid there for a minute because now I'm thinking, I'm over here on the back side of the property. Nobody knows I'm here. Nobody's going to know to look for me. So I'm going to be here all day long with a broken neck. So I've learned a couple of lessons from this experience. But I laid there for a minute to see if I was having any trouble breathing, if I had any neck pain, back pain, because at this point, I've fallen 8 feet and landed on my head and neck. So I got up slowly, dusted myself off, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm good, I'm good. I mean, have I done worse than that? I don't know. I can't remember ever falling 8 feet and landing on my head and neck. But I took one hand and I grabbed the steps, which I should have done to start with, and kind of pulled them up a little bit, and they all came crashing down. So I am very lucky. I am very, very lucky today. No, I'm very blessed today. The Lord has been with me so many times, and He was definitely with me during that time. Now, I've got this mess laying on the ground. I've got to get cleaned up, and I'm going to put new steps up there because I have a nice cozy chair and a heater up there and windows. I can just watch and look and observe and study the behavior of the deer, because mostly this field is where the mamas bring their babies. And I have literally been here before and had babies to walk within 10 feet of me. And I've got a lot of pictures I could pull out of baby deer in this area. The scaredest I've ever been, because this is the neighbor's property. You see there's a fence right back here. So that's the neighbor's pasture right there. Now, there's an old metal ladder stand right there. And it doesn't look like it's been used in a while. I don't know if it has or not. But I was in this house one day and he shot a deer and I never knew he was right there. So maybe someone came up and crossed the line and come up here and opened the shooting house. I don't know. There is some critter poop in there, but nothing was bothered. I've got some things in there, like some boot warmers and stuff when it's cold, that I can sit up there and enjoy my feet being warm. But nothing was bothered, so I'm not really worried about that. What I'm worried about is now I've got to build new steps to go up there or put a ladder up there. I don't know. But that's not the only thing that bothers me about it. Let me show you something else. Yeah, this thing is leaning. It is leaning. Now, do I want to chance it and go up there, or do I think I want to stabilize it a little bit better? This thing has been on the property since we bought it. It was a hunting club here. But I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed using the hunting house, and I just think that it's in need of some repairs before I go back inside of it. So now I need to talk to Sweet Tony and see if I can't get him to help me to build new steps over here and kind of stabilize and support that one side. Maybe we can push it back up with a tractor and put a new post in. I mean, I don't think if it failed, it would go anywhere, because there are just really thick trees over there that would catch it to start with. It might be a scary ride, but the ride down from up there to down there head first was an even scarier ride. I called Brooke and said, I almost died today. And then here today, which is a few days later, it almost happened again. Now, that's a funny story. So we're going to go to the pasture, and I'm going to talk to you about why not only do I have bruises now on my back in the back of my legs from falling from 8 feet up in the air. But now my arms have bruises all over 'em. There's a funny story behind it, but let's go to the pasture and talk about what happened this morning that now I'm just bruised all over. I look like I have been beat up. But it's all good. I survived this one, and I survived this morning's attack. So, are y'all ready for the second time that I almost died this week? Let me show you what happened. First, we have to go in the pasture for this one.
Motion at your flashlight cam.
My day started off normal, and you know, I'm pretty bruised on my back and the back of my legs from the fall. But I came into the pasture this morning to feed, and I did not have my camera with me because I usually don't bring it in to feed unless I'm specifically videoing something about feeding. So today was the day that I needed to clean the water tanks. So I came over to the water tanks here. And there's Gus and Marianne. Go away. And you can see that Gus has already dirtied up the water. The water tank for the bulls, for the steers, is relatively clean. I see they put a little bit of hay in there. But this one was perfectly clean because you can see I dumped it out this morning. I dumped it out and started washing it with the hose. Well, everything was good. Goldie came over and she was drinking from the tub as I was filling it up. So I was squatted down, only as close to the tank as I could get. It's muddy over here now, but I'm going to get over here anyway and show you. So I was here, and you can see the water tank is here. So while I'm squatted down, Gus came up behind me, and you can see he's running Marianne off. The only thing I can think of is that Marianne is about to start laying. So while I'm squatted here by the fence and by the tank, I'm pretty much hemmed in. Gus comes over, and I feel him bump me from behind. And I thought, okay, but Gus, are you wanting some attention? Y'all, I turned around and I looked at Gus in the face, and I knew something was different. Gus jumped on me. He opened his wings as wide as he could, and he jumped on me, and he started biting. So I put my arm up to stop him from biting me on my body, and he grabbed my arm and held on. And it hurt so bad I screamed. But I was trapped. There was a water tank and a fence, and Gus on the other side. And Gus kept going. He didn't stop. So I leaned back and I started trying to push him with this hand. Well, he got it. Y'all, I could not get Gus off me. I literally thought Gus was going to do me in right there on the spot. But luckily, I could jump up. And when I jumped up, I had Gus hanging from an arm. And he was flapping his wings, and he's trying to get me again, y'all. I don't know what's going on with him. And I took off running. Well, Gus was hanging on. Y'all, if Tony had videoed this, if he had been outside and he could have videoed this. This would have been the video of the year. I'm running, I'm screaming, I've got Gus hanging from me like a bracelet, and he's not letting go. Meanwhile, Goldie's just standing there watching like, what is going on? Y'all, from now on, when I come in here to water, I'm going to make sure I know where Gus and Marianne are, because Gus almost did me in. So that was the second time this week. Poor Gus. Marianne needs to get control of her man. That's all I can say. Is all my Gus fans out there, you just don't know. Here are pictures of the bruises that are starting on my arms. He hasn't been back up to me since, and every time Marianne starts to get near me, he starts pushing her away and squawking. So the only thing I can think of is maybe it's goose mating season. I'm gonna have to call Brooke and just ask her what she thinks is going on with sweet Gus. All right, guys. So hopefully I won't have any more incidences this week. Let's hope not. Farming can be quite dangerous sometimes, can't it? Y'all farm on.